Have you ever heard of bimodal sleep? It's the concept that sleep should not occur in one contiguous, let's say 8-hour stretch in the night, but rather should occur as two discrete, shorter segments of 3 to 4 hours each, with a equally large or significantly large segment of wakefulness in between. So for example, instead of sleeping from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., maybe you sleep from 8 p.m. to midnight. You're up from midnight to 3 a.m. doing whatever, reading, praying, having sex, working, and then you go back to bed again from 3 a.m. to 6 or 7 a.m. when the sun rises. That is actually a natural sleep pattern for human beings. It's called bimodal sleep, and there's records of humans sleeping this way going back to the Middle Ages and even earlier. And the hypothesis is that when humans are left to their own natural devices, without electricity, without screens, bimodal sleep is actually the natural sort of go-to for humans. We go to bed when the sun goes down, and this time of year in December, that's very early, sometimes frighteningly early. 6, 7 p.m., it's pitch black out. You go to bed. You sleep for 4 or 5 hours. You wake up, you're wired. You do something. You don't just toss and turn in bed all night and think that you have, psychiatric illness and sleep disorder because you're not able to go back to bed because you have so much energy at that time. Embrace it. Do something with that time and energy. It's a very sacred time of night. And then you will naturally get tired again in 2 hours or so, and then you go back to bed for your second stretch until sunrise. This is natural. And there's a book, and I'm going to link to it in the description, but it's a book about night in times past. It's the history of nighttime and how the Industrial Revolution and the rise of electricity changed the way that humans interacted with nighttime. And before electricity, bimodal sleep was normal. Now that I have a baby, a newborn baby, I am on the bimodal sleep grind hard, because what we were noticing is that the baby's natural cycle was to go to bed around 7 p.m. and then she would wake up around 11 or 12 to get a good solid feed in. And so if we were putting the baby down at 7 and then we were going to bed at 10, which is kind of like when we would have gone to bed before the baby, my bedtime was about 10 p.m., now we're only getting an hour of sleep until the baby's crying and wanting our attention. But what we did, my wife and I, we just started going to bed with the baby at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Now we sleep 4 hours with the baby, and when she's up, guess what? We're hitting that bimodal first sleep ending perfectly. And we're ready for a 2 or 3 hour wake period. We chill with the baby, we feed the baby, she breastfeeds, maybe I top the baby off with a bottle, I burp the baby, I walk the baby, the wife chills with the baby. It's family time. Honestly, it's our best family time that we get all day, because during the daylight I'm working. So we hit that wakefulness hard as family, me, wife, baby, and then at around 2:30 or 3 a.m., the baby goes down, and then we go down for our second sleep. And then when the sun rises at 6 a.m., we're up for the day. It's perfect. So this is how having a newborn has actually led to an improvement of my sleep. I am now embracing bimodal sleep to the fullest. I had been doing it before, but man, going to bed at 7 p.m., it hits different, man. I'm telling you, try it. Especially if you're a person who wakes up in the middle of the night and thinks that there's something wrong with you, without realizing that your body is just trying to be on this bimodal sleep cycle in rhythm. You might find it beneficial to lean into the bimodal sleep cycle by going to bed a few hours earlier than you're used to. Try 8 p.m. instead of 10. Then when you end your first sleep, it's midnight, you can be up for 2 hours and still get a solid second sleep until 6 a.m. Interestingly, a lot of people that I consult with have this problem. They wake up in the middle of the night and they feel wired. Now, it's not always a bimodal sleep thing that your body's trying to snap you into. Sometimes people have sleep disordered breathing. Sometimes people are too caffeinated. Sometimes people are malnourished and they're not having the proper metabolites needed to metabolize out the catecholamines that keep them wired at night. Okay? For people like that, a methylated multivitamin can be helpful, or just adding more nutritious foods to your diet, specifically animal products, can help with that. But for the people that have really refined their lifestyle, they are having optimal nutrition, optimal fitness. They are trying to improve their sleep, whether it be with sleep positioning or CPAP, or even maybe they've had some expansion, but they're still waking up in the middle of the night wired and tossing and turning. You might be so healthy that your body is trying to snap you into the natural bimodal sleep cycle. And so the fact that you're waking up at night and feeling wired is actually an indicator of your health. Embrace it. Go to bed at 8 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. and hit that wakefulness at midnight. Ride it out till 2 a.m. Go back to bed till 6. That's a lesson that I've learned since having my newborn baby, which has ironically improved my sleep by getting me to bed earlier and getting me more in touch with bimodal sleep. All right, so give that a whirl, and I wish you all the best. Make good use of that interim period. Try to avoid screens. You know, it's a good time to read a physical book. It's a good time to pray. It's a good time to meditate. It's a good time to be with your wife and your baby. Just chill. It's not a good time to put the lights on and do something stimulating on the screen. Maybe a super dim screen with F-Lux and night shift with the brightness all the way down, but be mindful of the fact that just because you're up and you're embracing the wakefulness does not mean you should disrupt your eyes with screen time and with super stimulating media. Okay? Keep that in mind too. All right, everyone, I'm going to let you go. Be easy. Check you soon. Peace.